Good afternoon. It's Thursday. Y'all bear with me a little bit. I've got a little bit of a sore throat, and so it's going to be maybe hard for me to talk as loud as I normally do, but maybe we'll get through this. So today we're reading Mark chapter 2. The first section is titled Jesus Heals a Paralytic. And when he returned to Capernaum after some days, it was reported that he was at home. And many were gathered together, so that there was no more room, nor even at the door. And he was preaching the word to them. And they came, bringing to him a paralytic carried by 4 men. And when they could not get near him because of the crowd, they removed the roof above him. And when they had made an opening, they let down the bed on which the paralytic lay. And when Jesus saw their faith, he said to the paralytic, "Son, your sins are forgiven." Now some of the scribes were sitting there questioning in their hearts, "Why does this man speak like that? He is blaspheming. Who can forgive sins but God alone?" And immediately Jesus, perceiving in his spirit that they thus questioned within themselves, said to them, "Why do you question these things in your hearts? Which is easier, to say to the paralytic, 'Your sins are forgiven,' or to say, 'Rise, take up your bed and walk'? But that you may know that the Son of Man has authority on earth to forgive sins." He said to the paralytic, "I say to you, rise, pick up your bed, and go home." And he rose and immediately picked up his bed and went out before them all, so that they were all amazed and glorified God, saying, "We never saw anything like this." Now, I love this story. And there's a song, and I cannot remember who sang it. It was one of the Southern Gospel quartets. But it's called "My Name is Lazarus." And even if you have heard it, but if you've never heard it, you need to look it up on YouTube. It will set you on fire. And it pertains to this story. So now every time I hear this story, I think of that song. But it's an excellent song. "My Name is Lazarus." After I get through, I'll put a link in the comments. The next section is titled Jesus Calls Levi. He went out again beside the sea, and all the crowd was coming to him, and he was teaching them. And as he passed by, he saw Levi, the son of Alphaeus, sitting at the tax booth, and he said to him, "Follow me." And he rose and followed him. Now Levi and Matthew are the same person, it's just different names. And as he reclined at table in his house, many tax collectors and sinners were reclining with Jesus and his disciples, for there were many who followed him. And the scribes of the Pharisees, when they saw that he was eating with sinners and tax collectors, said to his disciples, "Why does he eat with tax collectors and sinners?" And when Jesus heard it, he said to them, "Those who are well have no need of a physician, but those who are sick. I came not to call the righteous, but sinners." The next section is titled "A Question About Fasting." Now John's disciples and the Pharisees were fasting, and people came and said to him, "Why do John's disciples and the disciples of the Pharisees fast, but your disciples do not fast?" And Jesus said to them, "Can the wedding guests fast while the bridegroom is with them? As long as they have the bridegroom with them, they cannot fast. The days will come when the bridegroom is taken away from them, and then they will fast in that day. No one sews a piece of unshrunk cloth on an old garment. If he does, the patch tears away from it, the new from the old, and a worse tear is made. And no one puts new wine into old wineskins. If he does, the wine bursts the skins, and the wine is destroyed, and so are the skins. But new wine is for fresh wineskins." The next section is titled, "Jesus is Lord of the Sabbath." One Sabbath he was going through the grain fields, and as they made their way, his disciples began to pluck heads of grain. And the Pharisees were saying to him, Look, why are they doing what is not lawful on the Sabbath? And he said to them, Have you never read what David did when he was in need and was hungry, he and those who were with him? How he entered the house of God in the time of Abiathar the high priest, and ate the bread of the presence, which it is not lawful for any but the priest to eat, and also gave it to those who were with him. And he said to them, The Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. So the Son of Man is Lord even over the Sabbath. No, excuse me. So the Son of Man is Lord even of the Sabbath. I saw a friend of mine sent me a video yesterday that was about whether we should be celebrating, whether we should be taking our day of rest on Saturday, which is the Sabbath as the Jews know it. Hey, Sharon. Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad that you're watching. Some people say that we should celebrate the Sabbath on Saturday, which is the Sabbath as the Jewish culture designates it. And their days start at the end of the day when the sun goes down till sundown the next day. So Saturday would be Friday afternoon when the sun goes down till Saturday afternoon when the sun goes down. That's how the Jews, that's how their calendar, that's how their day works. Now we who are not Jewish people, our day starts from 12 a.m., goes all day, and ends at 12 a.m. at 12 midnight. 12 midnight to 12 midnight. And that's how we do our days. And we also normally have church, most of us have church on Sunday, because that's the day that Jesus was resurrected, and it was the first day of the week. That's when they realized that he had been resurrected. Now, you need to pray about this, and if God is leading you to do your Sabbath day on Saturday, that's what you need to do. If you feel like God is saying it, it's okay for you to have your Sabbath day on Sunday, your day of rest on Sunday, then that's what you need to do. I feel like if it's important to God for you, he will show you if you will listen. And that's the thing, we've got to be willing to listen to anything that God says. I will tell y'all, when I was working, and I think I probably said this before, but when I was working at Troy University, we had student workers, and there was a excuse me, one of our student workers, we were having lunch, and she had come in because I think she was going to work right after lunch, so she just brought her lunch and sat in the office with us and ate. No, you go right ahead, Sharon. You go right ahead. We were talking about something we had watched on television. And we asked her if she saw it, and she said, well, no, I don't watch television. And I said, oh. And she said, well, I feel like God has told me, for me, it is a sin. And she said, here's why. If I watch television, I get so caught up in it that I don't spend time in my Bible, in prayer time, and everything. So God has asked me to refrain from watching TV. Now, she was not saying it's wrong for everybody to watch. She was saying it was wrong for her to watch. Excuse me. So sometimes God will say, this is how I want you to do it. It may be different than everybody else does it. We need to be very careful to follow what God leads us to do. And Sharon says, I just want to add that the command is to honor the seventh day. I think it's relevant if anyone wonders. Yes, that's correct. I know there are some people who will not eat most kinds of seafood because they feel like it's wrong. And they won't eat pork because they feel like it's wrong. Well, if you feel like that's how God's leading you, you need to obey that. And I struggled with that for a long time. I prayed about it, and I asked the Lord, did he not want me eating pork? Because I love bacon. Did he not want me eating pork? Did he not want me eating seafood? However he wanted me to do, and how we obey him. Yes, that's exactly right. And I never felt that he was telling me not to eat those things, so I eat them. Now, if he ever says from this point forward no more, then I'll have to give it up because I want to be obedient. So anyway, thank y'all for joining me. Thank y'all for being patient with me. My tongue is a little bit sore. I think I might have bitten it during the night. And I've got a little bit of a respiratory infection, so if I sound funny, that's why. I have taken the worst tasting cough medicine I believe I've ever had. I got it from the doctor this morning, and it's called Polytussin. But now let me tell you, it works. It works. I have not coughed. I don't think I've coughed since I took it about lunchtime. And it says every 4 to 6 hours. It works. Polytussin. So anyway, thank y'all for your patience. Thank you for sticking with me, and thank you for encouraging me, because y'all watching is an encouragement to me. And sharing anytime you don't even feel like you've got to ask. If you feel like you need to say something, say it. And y'all, if you're not already following, or if you're not already friends with Sharon, she is a great person to follow for. She does a lot of teachings on Passover and things like a lot of that, and it's very interesting and very good. So I thank y'all, and I will see y'all tomorrow. We will read Mark 3.